Our penultimate contest is 6 regular rounds of boxing and the middleweight division. Introducing you first the boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the black shirt and red. And wearing his tail less than 2 pounds. Is a solid professional boxing contest, 3 wins. One of those wins by one away, and knockout, 3 wins, 1 draw. Presenting from Leicester, Simon Henry. And boxing out of the red corner is familiar. Black shirt and red. And wearing his tail also less than 2 pounds. For 9 contests, he has 9 wins. One of those wins being by way of knockout. Presenting from the league world camp and his hometown of Wigan, the undefeated James Starfish charge of the agency grade from Fleetwood. 6 ring rounds.
Here we are then, like I said, Moorcroft's been calling out for a step up in class in opponent, and he's got that tonight against Simon Henry. He's got to start well in this one.
Yeah, Henry's an unusual case in terms of his record. He turned pro in September 2011 with a win over someone called Andrew Hardy. Won his first 3 fights and he had a draw against Dwayne Green in March of 2014. Then he just started losing fights. He lost in 2014 October to Ben Hall on points. 5th round KO to Billy Bird in February 2015. Then he disappeared for a few years. Obviously he was sat in his house one day and thought, right, it's time, the comeback is on. And last May he came back against Ryan Stevenson, dropped another points decision, and here he is back out again. So he certainly likes to take his time, Mr. Henry.
Yeah, and one thing to note is those 3 defeats have come against quality opposition, hasn't he? And he's got some wins under his belt. It shows he's got ambition. Moorcroft has settled in well there, though.
Yeah, he turned over well, as we say, with the 3 wins and then the draw. And maybe sometimes you forget with boxers who've got personal life and personal commitments as well. He may have had to concentrate more on his day job, and then last year he's popped back up again. And as you say, we've already seen there's a bit of a quality to him as well. He looks like he's got good balance, and he's trying his own jab, although Moorcroft sinks in a left hook to the body as well there.
Yeah, he picked that left hook to the body really nicely then. Well, we said Moorcroft's got to start well here, and he certainly has done.
Yeah, and Simon Henry's 35 years old. As you say, he's lost to some good names. You've got to ask what you can bring that's going to trouble Moorcroft there.
Yeah, it's just that element of being unexpected, isn't it? And like I said before, the Moorcroft and his team hadn't seen much footage of Henry. Didn't really know what they were getting in with tonight.
Yeah, and that can be a bit disconcerting. Fighters sometimes like to watch footage. Some fighters, when they get to a certain level, don't watch any footage whatsoever and leave that to the trainers. I know John Murray locally was a big fan of just letting Joe Gallagher come up with the game plan and do some of the watching of the tapes. And then you get some fighters who slavishly watch every single second they can get on an opponent.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? It's personal touch, I suppose. And I mean, speaking to James before, he wasn't bothered in the slightest. Nice right hand over the top landing. Lovely right hand again, and he's backed Henry up here.
This could be where we see a stoppage tonight, because he's really going for it, Moorcroft.
Yeah, good onslaught this from James Moorcroft. He picked his shots nicely.
A little base back from Henry, but he looks really troubled there by the initial right hand.
Yeah, and he set that right hand up really nicely. Right hand over the top, caught Henry. You've just got to do more of the same now, hasn't he? Get behind that jab and set up his work. There's a right hand over the top again, landing.
A nice left hook to the body as well. We saw that punch early on in the round.
Yeah, he's not got carried away with that success either, Moorcroft. He's still picking his shots nicely.
Yeah, I just wrote down that he was calm despite landing the decent shot and then having the follow-up. He didn't go all out. He knows that he's got a lot of time to play with and has decided that he's going to play the long game.
Yeah, switch to southpaw there with straight left backhand. Lovely shot. And a great opening round that for Moorcroft. Remember, hashtag VIP Boxing Live on Twitter. Comment on the Facebook stream and all the usual platforms we're broadcasting across tonight. And let us know what you think of the show so far. Who have you been impressed by? Let us know what you think about Moorcroft so far in that opening round. What a performance. Well, the opening round that was, should I say. Still plenty of time to go, of course, but if he carries on like that, I don't think we'll be seeing Henry see the final bell.
Yeah, and then we looked a bit shell shots there in the corner. It was not a massive bombardment, but he took a solid right hand, and then he took a few shots on the follow-up as well. So he's gone back to his corner knowing that he's in danger in this fight.
Yeah, referee Steve Gray talking to Moorcroft in the corner, and I'm not sure what about. He had a long conversation there, didn't he, with Moorcroft? You don't usually see that.
Yeah, I didn't see any reason why that may have been prompted. We can probably catch up with Steve at some point and clear it up for everyone who wants to tune in next time.
You're wondering whether there's a nick over that right eye of Moorcroft. There's a lot of attention being put on it by George Schofield in that corner.
Yeah, we've not been able to see anything so far. If there was a slight nick, it'd be a very small one that they imagine they'd be able to seal quite quickly.
A nice right hand over the top again from Moorcroft. He found a home for that right hand early on, and he keeps landing it.
Yeah, and both men have come out jabbing this round, but there's just more of the authority on Moorcroft's jab. Henry's putting out his jab, but it's more of a keep away from the jab, whereas Moorcroft is, I'm going to hit you in the face with this jab and then take this right hand, and by the way, it's a left hook to the body type stuff.
He looked nice behind that jab. You consider Moorcroft's come from... he didn't have an amateur background, came from that white collar background. You'd expect him to not have the skills of maybe some of the other guys we've seen tonight with amateur pedigree, but he's been impressive so far behind that jab. He's got a lot of boxing fundamentals that he's been showing.
Yeah, and he seems like someone, as you say, he's got good ring fundamentals. And right, people sometimes forget that boxers and people who come into the sport are intelligent guys. You may have known, coming from that white collar background, that people are going to be expecting him to be a certain type of fighter and knuckle down in the gym and done all the work that he could do in the gym to make sure he surprises people with what he can produce. Because if you looked at Moorcroft in the times I watched him, you wouldn't know that he was formerly a white collar fighter.
And even early on in his career, he's improved massively, and every time we see him, he's got little things that he's added to his game.
Yeah, and as I say, you wouldn't know if you'd not seen him before. When I first started coming back to shows again after a brief sabbatical, one of the first fighters I saw was Moorcroft, and I had no idea he'd been a white collar fighter previously and would never have guessed until Luke spoiled it all by telling me. But yeah, you see the fundamentals with him, you see the jab. He's in there with someone now who we see who took a bit of a shellacking in the first round and has come back at him a little bit as well, and there's a great right hand.
Yeah, there's that right hand over the top again. He seems to have hurt Henry a little bit again. He keeps landing with that right hand over the top, and you can see it's hurting every time he throws it. 40 seconds left to go this second round. Still plenty of time left in this contest, and that's the second time Henry seems to have been hurt by that right hand from Moorcroft.
Yeah, and as you say, if he starts doing that earlier on in the round, Moorcroft, he might get the stoppage, because Henry is shaken whenever he takes that right hand clean and gives up a lot of ground and moves backwards.
A lovely jab again. Moorcroft snapping that jab out with his left hand. He switched to southpaw a couple of times. I don't think he needs to, does he? He's had all the success in that orthodox stance so far.
Yeah, the right hand's working, as you say, in the orthodox stance. It might be, sometimes you can be too over elaborate. The right hand and the jab is working for him, so stick with that and just put the left hook on top of it. And also earlier on, sometimes fighters can read that, but he's in a situation where his opponent's a sucker for the right hand, and when he comes with the follow-up, the left hook can be there for him as well.
Another very good round that from Moorcroft. He certainly looked nice and sharp in there, and when we mentioned before, there's a few fighters in the VIP stable buzzing around this weight, and I know Steve wants to match a few of them together, and James is certainly up there with the ones that are going to go on it and fight for titles minimum, if not win them.
It looks that way, yeah, and as we say, he's learning with every fight. He seems to be developing and thinking about what he does as well, so each time you watch Moorcroft, you may see him try something new or something a little bit different. It may not always work going forward, but the fact he's still trying those things it bodes well for him when he steps up in class.
10 seconds, corners.
Yeah, Steve Torkington's picked up on the fact that Moorcroft hasn't gone headhunting after he's hurt Henry to the head, and that's a big thing, isn't it? He stayed nice and composed a couple of times, wobbled him.
Yeah, and I think that's why he's not rushed his work. He's got the wherewithal to get his opponent, sting his opponent, but then take that little step back and have a look and think, right, which areas can I target now, rather than just throwing everything that he possibly can. And I genuinely think if he lands a really big right hand early in one of the upcoming rounds, and I think he could actually close the show and get the follow-on shots he needs to score a stoppage win.
Yeah, he's still looking to set that right hand up over the top.
And I think Steve Gray's the type of referee, if he sees an opponent is hurt, he'll have a quick look, he'll give them a chance to try and throw something back, and if they don't, he'll do the right thing and step in.
Yeah, it's been dominant this from Moorcroft so far. Blood coming from the nose of Henry now. That's that jab that keeps going through the guard from Moorcroft. Just flicking out with that right hand again. It's always dangerous when Moorcroft's throwing it. He dropped Nathan Hardy with one when we saw that fight, and Hardy very rarely gets stopped or dropped. You know, he's one of the tough men on the circuit, so that was a bit of a statement in itself.
Yeah, and we can see tonight with our naked eye the power he serve on his shots. Again, there the left hook was a really nice shot.
Yeah, he's wobbled Henry again with that left hook, and he's looking to follow it up this time.
And I think Steve Gray might jump in at some point if these shots keep going in. So that was a really heavy left hook, then he landed a solid right hand, and he's still got 90 seconds in the round to try and force a stoppage.
I was going to say there's plenty of time still in this round. Lovely left hook from Moorcroft. He just took a right hand of his own on the way in though. He doesn't want to neglect his defence.
Yeah, and again he's remained calm. He landed those big shots, but he's not thrown everything into it.
Yeah, he's so switched on defensively, isn't he? Even when he's trying to go for that finish then, as he was.
And the left hook case, there's a gap there between Henry's chin and his right hand. Sometimes he drops that little bit right hand, or he moves it to try and parry or block the shots coming his way. So I think if he could turn one of his jabs into a left hook, I think he really would land some really decent clean shots.
And you can see he's still just trying to set up that right hand over the top.
Yeah, that one was a bit more rushed and a bit messy, and he took a jab to his face after failing to land it as cleanly as he did, so that's a lesson for him.
Oh, there's the right hand over the top again from Moorcroft. It hurt Henry.
And again he goes with the body shots to the left and right side of the body.
It's been a really accomplished performance this so far from Moorcroft. Considering he didn't know much about his opponent when he get in there, he's dominated so far.
Yeah, and as we say, Moorcroft's been dominant again in this round. He's picked his spots well, and the right hand has worked for him, but also the left hook as well, and the body shots, and again another big right hand goes in and one to the body as well, so it's a really good performance this round.
Yeah, coming towards the end of this round, and there's been some big shots thrown from Moorcroft again in that round. Halfway through this contest, still plenty of time to come.
Yeah, there's still 3 rounds to go. It's lucky for the opponent that it is only a 6-round fight, 'cause he's taking some fairly decent shots. I don't think we'd be seeing Henry the 8th if it went to the 8th round of an 8-round fight, but 6 rounds he might be able to negotiate his way through it. But at this point I think it's looking tough for him.
Yeah, he's certainly getting ticking off in that corner as well from the work he's done so far.
Yeah, and that last round was really hard for him. He doesn't want to have too many rounds like that. So it'd be interesting to see if Moorcroft smells blood in the water and how he comes out the next round.
Yeah, and what would you be telling Moorcroft? You're in that corner, you're in Lee Blundell's shoes now. Are you telling him to go for that finish, or just to keep looking for the shots like he has done so far?
Yeah, I like to see knockouts. I know some people on Twitter say it's all about safety and whatnot, but ultimately boxing's about knocking people out, and that's what people like to see. I'd be telling him to use the jab, throw a solid right hand off the jab, not rush his jab, but then when he's thrown the right hand and pulled it back, if the gap is there for the left hook, go with the left hook to the head and try and get a few to the body as well, and just break him down and put him on his back. But obviously without taking too many risks yourself.
Yeah, I think that's been the most impressive thing so far. Moorcroft hasn't taken risks when he's landed those big shots.
No, he's taken a couple of shots, but it's just been you take shots in a fight, especially when your opponent, someone like Henry, who's came in the first round and tried to throw a few shots back. But I think again, if I was Moorcroft, I'd try and put a bit more pace into the early part of the rounds. I know fighters like to pace themselves and work the round through, but I think if he came out firing at the start of one of the rounds, he'd have more of a chance of wearing him down over the course of those 3 minutes and stopping him.
Yeah, Moorcroft can't seem to miss with that jab, stabbing through the middle of Henry's guard. You see the blood from the nose getting worse as the bout goes on.
And we saw the defence there from Moorcroft, the slipping and the moving out of the way of the jab coming back at him. Solid left hook there, that one strayed a bit low into the hips, but it was a decently executed shot.
Nice right hand from Henry there, showing a bit of ambition, and Moorcroft come back with shots of his own. Oh, did a nice left hook to the body in that exchange as well. They fought a very high tempo this fight as well so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's particularly that last round as well. Moorcroft not throwing quite as much this round, but he's really thinking about what he's doing and just wearing his opponent down more and more incrementally.
Just over a minute to go in this 4th round. Scheduled for 6, of course. The second 6 rounder of 3 tonight. Still to come, of course, Jack Flatley's in with Sir Jambomo.
And they're nice boxing out of the corner by Moorcroft, left up to the head, right hand to the head as well.
Yeah, now that right hand hurt him over the top, and
Steve
he's wobbled
Gray,
it.
I think, he's going to jump in at any point.
He's down. What a shot that was from Moorcroft. He set it up with the right hand over the top. And Steve Gray's having a real look at this, because Henry's been hurt a few times here. It was the right hand over the top that did the damage, wasn't it, Terry? And he finished that combination really well.
Yeah, the right hand went over the top, then the body shot went in, and he's got a full minute, well, just under a minute left in the round, and I can't see Steve Gray allowing this to continue in this vein.
Yeah, uppercut from Moorcroft landing again, and the body shot as well afterwards. And if you can put 3 or 4 punches together, you'll see the referee jump in.
Yeah, and Henry's visibly pained with the punches that are coming his way, and he's kind of twisting his body to get out of the way of the body shots. To be fair, to his internal credit, he's trying to give it a go as well a couple of times, even after taking that knockdown.
Yeah, but he's done quite well there since he's got up off the floor. A lovely right hand over the top again from Moorcroft, and again, and it's all over. And that's a good stoppage from the referee. And what a performance that is from James Moorcroft. He said he wanted to step up, and he certainly got that tonight, and he's delivered with that performance.
Yeah, brilliant decision by the referee, Steve Gray. 2 right hands to the head, and then he had enough space to land the 3rd one as well, and then he could have brought in some left hooks and body shots, so that was the right thing to do, just to get Henry out of there and not subject him to further punishment. So now we just wait for the time of the stoppage, but it was a really good idea, a really good thing from Steve Gray to do the stoppage, I think, at that particular point.
Right? And you're going to be 30 back. Right? So if you give 20, that's what he owes you.
So Simon Henry, the medical team are looking at Henry in the corner, giving him the attention he needs after that stoppage, and just making sure he's going to be okay.
Yeah, and the medical staff we have here on the VIP show are top quality, and I'll make sure he's looked after.
And like we said, he took some heavy shots to the head towards the end of that round. And Steve Gray, he had a look. He's one of those referees who, when you know Steve Gray's offering close by and having a quick look, you know he's thinking about the time that he's got to step in and make that tough decision.
You could see the delight on Moorcroft's face when that fight was stopped, though, and Lee Blundell jumped onto the ring camera to celebrate with his fighter. Brilliant performance, that.
Yeah, and as you say, he's developing all the time. This has been the best performance of the night we've seen so far, and it's a really good way for Moorcroft to make a statement and show people that last year's form was no fluke. He's here to stay.
Yeah, and we talked about it throughout the fight, but his composure was the most impressive thing there as well, wasn't it? He picked his shots nicely, didn't rush his work, and when the stoppage came, he certainly delivered.
Yeah, he took the stoppage really well. He saw the opening for the right hand and just kept powering it through. And like I say, it's just going to be enough of right hand coming through, and there's always going to be scope there for the left hook as well. So Steve Gray did the right thing. The medical staff are still having a look at Henry to make sure he's okay, and Michael Pass will give us the particulars of the stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 2 minutes and 55 seconds of round number 4, Star Steve Gray has stopped the contest and begins to the inside and Henry, which is known as the 2 continue, the 4 go down. Now to the winners of the division 10,
Well, there we have it then. You can see Moorcroft visibly happy with that performance. And one more bout to go tonight, and it's certainly